One quite interesting little project that we did came out of my position as the Royal Society Entrepreneur in Residence at Cambridge University. A lot of that job is not about discovering fantastic spin-outs and startups. Of course, one wants to do that, and indeed we've managed to do some of that. But it's also a little bit about teaching students who maybe wouldn't necessarily have exposure to business skills, entrepreneurship skills, how to present. I do a lecture course where I go through the basics of how to start a company, how to be an entrepreneur, how to hire, how to present, how to write a pitch deck, all of those things. And I think those are important skills for even the brightest of the bright. Very often they don't have those skills, but in almost all cases, they're probably going to need them at some point in their career or whatever it is they do. Most master's students, PhD students don't actually do what their PhD is in. They end up working for Marks and Spencer's or McKinsey or Goldman Sachs. And so they need to learn those skills. That is part of what they do. So a really nice little project we did was with Darwin College, which is actually one of, Trish was a fellow there some time ago. And we proposed to them a business plan competition where people could come to the kickoff meeting, get a little bit of advice, maybe on business plans or go-to-market strategies. And then what they had to do was come up with a short presentation about their business. We didn't really even care if it was a real business. It could just be a made-up one. That's fine. And they needed to present that business, and we would give them a small prize, one for the best business idea and one for the best presentation. And I was unsure about whether or not this would work quite well, but we got nearly 12 submissions the first year, I think even more the second year. And it was just a lot of fun. People who had never presented a business plan before would stand up and present their businesses. Some of them, I have to say, were truly terrible, but some of them were great. That was okay. But also learning to present is a really big problem for people. And this is a nice place for them to do that. And then afterwards, we had a lovely dinner, and I gave people advice, and we talked about their businesses and their presentation styles. So this is not a huge project, but it's a really lovely thing to do. And it's a little bit of paying it forward. A lot of people, when I was starting out and doing that transition from being an academic into the business world, a lot of people took me to one side and said, don't say that, do this, and don't talk about things in this way, talk about them in that way. So it's nice for me to be able to help these people as they progress along their career journey.